the whole reason we're making this film is to try to somehow bring together. We've got this little cache of letters from about 1905 from Yorkshire that had nothing to do with our family or anybody's family, but they just became familyless.
Yeah.
I could do something with them. And sort of suddenly, 15 years later, I'm trawling through these letters and finding these little bits. And I like the idea of adding African animal noises to it.
Dear Will, I thought I'd better drop you a line, or you might think I'd forgotten your existence. I feel all mixed up and as if I had been here quite a long time. I dreamed last night I was back at home and saw you all quite plain. Needless to say, I was thankful when I awoke and found that I was not, as I don't want to come back just yet. And you don't want me to, do you? I think you will all be having a fine time now you have not me to bother with. I can't tell you much about the place yet, as I have not seen much of it. You see, I got here all right without being labelled. Pa was having one of his good days and seemed a lot better. Ma didn't look as pinched, but she looks dreadfully torn down. Those mysterious tappings you feel will most likely be wind. Coal gas and rent will swallow what they have. They cannot go on much longer, but for everything else it feels lovely to be at home, although I do dislike the house. It's your own things and the freedom.
Harry has been over here
today, and my word, lad, you would be surprised to see him, for he's as fat as a pig. I expect it's mostly ale. In your next letter you must say how you were going with the tart who stood you drinks at the pub, and if you receive any quarter from any other tarts. I hope you were all in the pink. I feel far from well. You were asking about sponges in your last letter. I should go to the chemist for them. Get a small soft one and a good big one that will pour plenty of water out.
We've had some very
miserable weather this week. It's been raining all the time. Have you got something to put your clothes in yet? Because if you've not, it will spoil them worse than wearing them. I may say that Cliff and me were at the feast last night and got tons of quarter from a lot of strangers, especially that Mabel with her two mates. You know that one with dark eyes that used to give us a quarter, you especially, last season in the park. The smoking concert we had was a bit of a do in Fred Wedlock's tap room. As usual, Harry and one or two of the others made a horse of it, throwing dishcloths at Frank at 10:30 instead of waiting all 11, and then throwing them. Ada went around with a hat for Fox and got 4 shillings, so he didn't do very bad. I'm sorry to hear of you having some gathered fingers. If you require any green ointment, which is an excellent remedy, just mention it and I will get you some.
Father would like to know
how many beasts you kill in the week, and he wishes you to keep respectable and not get into loose habits. I'm very glad to hear that you got out of the summons so well as you did. I think that going to church just once or twice on a Sunday would be a success. But, of course, don't overdo it, because if you did, you would have the old sky pirate at your house every minute of the day, collecting for some fund or another.
I suppose you
will be in the park tomorrow night with Phyllis or Penelope. If so, keep off the grass. You know I cannot write you such a long letter, as I've just written a 5-page one home, but still, half a loaf is better than no bread at all. Never mind, all things come to an end. With kindest regards, yours very sincerely, Mabel.
Pardon? I think that's nice and sort of dumb and understated.